Hi, welcome to Baby Narc. um, where do I start? Um, so this whole weekend and now week, I mean, I keep calling it the weekend, but shoot, it's already Wednesday night, almost Thursday now. So the mile long text message that he sent to me, just going off on me and just saying horrible things. And so he's now in his state of apologies. And he's doing it to everybody. And so, I told you how he operates with social media. I mean, I guess everybody does, but I mean, this is weird. It's like it's like he's not even a person. It's like he's just some sort of I don't know, like every communication that he has with anybody is all through social media. It's weird. Anyway, he he has this video. So I told you he has a YouTube page, and he has a lot of, because he's always telling people about it, so everyone he knows subscribes to it. Now, of course, they might get tired of his shit and unsubscribe and not watch it or whatever, but nevertheless, he's got, I don't know, maybe like 50 subscribers, and, maybe not, I mean, well, no, they're all people that know him. So he, anything he puts on there, they see it. I mean, unless they don't give a shit and don't watch it. But I saw a video on there apologizing to his boss. Now, I told you he delivers pizzas, and I make no judgment in that. Once again, as long as you show up, get that money, then I don't care what you, and legally, you're not screwing somebody over for it. As long as you are legit and you have a job and you show up every day, then, no problem. So he, sorry, he always has to move. So he has this apology video on there to his boss. Now, he has a lot of problems at work, and I always hate when I say these things because it sounds judgmental, but I'm really just trying to paint the picture of my complete and utter frustration with him. There is no reason why you should be having problems at a job like that. You're not upper management level of a tech corporation and under a lot of stress. I mean, come on. It's food delivery. And other than, trying to hurry, because the quicker you do it, the more money you make, or making sure orders are right, or, whatever it takes to do that job. I mean, come on. It's not brain surgery, and you really should not be having a lot of drama. He has worked for this company, I guess maybe 6 years, because he had worked there a couple years before we started this thing 4 years ago. So I would say 6 years. I might be wrong about that. It might be actually maybe 7. And in that time, he's obviously the oldest person who works there. Once again, no problem. And he's not management. That's fine. And he is fast. He's good at his job, but he gets into it with everybody, and he has moved around store to store and all over the city because he's a problem. And, obviously the main problem is the drugs. And, it just makes him so volatile that he just can't get along with anybody. So, of course, he has problems at work. But the thing is, though, is here's the deal about him being a narcissist. He is so fucking charming that he continues to treat us all like shit, and then he turns that charm on. And, of course, also you're dealing with somebody's job, so, I mean, people aren't quick to fire somebody, most of the time, unless it's another narcissist, but most of the time, people are more apt to work things out. And also, not everybody in the world wants to do that job or sticks with it. So, his tenure of him being there for as long as he has probably helps. And he is older, so as far as the job itself, he is good at it. But the drugs you know, and he's a fucking asshole. So, and he's just volatile without drugs. So, he's always getting into it with people. And I mean, he gets into it with everybody. And, once again, he has, the third time he got moved to another store, that should have been a real clear indication to him that he needs to stop his bullshit. He's going to end up losing this job. And here's the thing, and he knows this part. You cannot be a raging drug addict and just go get a job anywhere. A lot of places now, which I'm surprised he has this job, but a lot of places now, they drug test. I mean, shoot, you can't even freaking shovel sand without a drug test, And and that has actually happened to him before. He has applied for a couple of things that he did want, and even a friend of his literally got him a job, but it was driving a forklift, I believe it was. And so they drug tested, and that was a really sucky situation because that was when we first got together, and he had like 2 interviews. It was a for sure thing. I mean, he was hired for sure, and it was going to be pretty decent money, and it was going to be like a day job, I mean, just like a normal, like it would have been awesome. He was really stoked about that, and boom, drug test. So, the job that he has, and of course, we all should think of our jobs this way, as jobs are few and far between, especially nowadays, and you need to appreciate what you have and treat it with respect, and treat the people with respect, and not set yourself up in a situation where you might not have a job and not get an opportunity to get another one. So the third time he was moved to another store, he should have been like, oh shit. And when he, like I said, he's applied for some other jobs that, or I guess maybe he was going to, but they drug testing and they didn't, blah, blah, blah. But also when he did get that forklifting job, and then they drug tested him, and then he didn't get it, that should have been a real, slap in the face of, oh shit, I guess the job that I have right now, whether I like it, love it, hate it, don't want to do it, am miserable, whatever, that's all I can do, at least for now, But of course, he doesn't think of it that way because he's a narcissist, and narcissists, they're never wrong, ever. And they're not only not wrong, but everyone else is wrong. It's not like no one's wrong. No, their thinking is that everyone is wrong and they are completely right. And, he just doesn't get it. Now, of course, when he's getting moved and there's drama and there's a possibility of him being fired, when it's all in the middle of taking place and happening, then he does panic. But the panic doesn't last. It doesn't last long enough to where, a couple weeks or months down the road, when he's acting a fool again, that it doesn't spark him to go, ooh, crap, I better stop my shit because, I'm already on thin ice. He's like he forgot about the whole thing. And he does. He doesn't live in reality. So past, present, future, like it's not even real to him anyway. He gets moved. Now, just in the time that I've known him, so 4 years, we're talking 4 years, he's been moved, I want to say 4 or 5 times. And of course, now he lies to me. So probably the first 2 times that he got moved that I knew about it, he did paint a picture that it was some sort of a promotion or something, or I don't know. But, and of course back then I was like, oh, good for you. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know what I know now. And the last time, the store that he's at right now, the reason he's there, and now he's far away, and see, he's running out of stores. I mean, was he have to drive to another state just to go to work every day? I mean, come on. And the store he's at right now, the reason he's there is because now this is what's crazy. And I always say God keeps telling me to get away from this dude. And God is always revealing little things to me. It's the craziest thing. Like, I'll catch something on social media. It's the whole social media thing. It's the craziest thing. I've never been in a social media relationship before. This is like insanity. But I'm always catching him with like weird, crazy stuff. So, I'm on the phone with him. Now, this was, okay, so, he's been on his, drug binge hardcore for 5-6 months. So this was maybe right before that. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Shoot. I need a calendar. I gotta mark down all this crazy stuff. See, I gotta get that whiteboard. Well, our whiteboard is for the red flags. We'll have to have 2 whiteboards. One for all of his antics, and then one for just the red flags that I should have been privy to. He's on the phone with me one day, and we're just talking. He's at work, and he does kind of take advantage. Well, of course he does, because he's a narcissist, so they take advantage of everything, everywhere, every time, anything, And he is, he's always, chit-chatting with me on the phone when he should be working, but whatever, not my business. And I mean, he won't do anything else I say, so you think he's gonna listen to that? Anyway, we're on the phone, nothing's wrong, we're having a great conversation. It was one of our good times. And all of a sudden he starts like, talking to some dude in the background. I can hear the dude's voice. And then all of a sudden it kind of escalates. And Brian starts, he gets weird, and you can tell that he all of a sudden is freaking out. And he said, no, that's not true. I don't know what you're thinking. Dude, you always think shit about me, and it's not true. I mean, they start getting into it. Well, Brian tells me on the phone, he says, I gotta go. But of course, such a fucking maniac, he doesn't actually hang up. I can't help it. I'm so curious. Because, one, I'm also worried. I'm not, my curiosity isn't just psychotic, private investigation. It's also because I do worry about him. I love him. I'm in love with him. I would rip off my own head if he wanted a transplant. I would do anything for this dude. Well, maybe not starting to get a lot like that anymore, but this whole time I am concerned about him, and I want him to just have a good life. So I stay on the phone listening to the whole thing. And so basically what had happened was he went on the clock to go get some drugs. Now here's the tricky part. Everyone he works with, so this is a manager that he's fighting with at the moment. And he's had problems with that manager before. And I'm sure that manager is kind of a dickhead too. And of course, he's way younger than Brian. And he's definitely one of those people that, they become a manager, and then all of a sudden, they're the boss. He's one of those dickheads. And, Brian didn't like that. Brian doesn't like anybody being in charge except for him. Even though he's had opportunities, not recently because they know how he is, but he has been asked a couple of times to go into management. And he just, because how could he? How is he going to manage a store and other people when he needs to go drive around freaked out of his fucking mind on every drug he can get his hands on, and going and getting drugs while he's at work. How the hell is he going to be a manager doing that? He would have to stay in the store doing paperwork. He ain't about that. He likes being free to roam the streets on the clock. He, in this little fight, I can hear them, and I can't hear all of it because it's a little bit muffled, whatever. And then eventually he either did hang up on me or the phone just cut off. But what I gathered is, of course, I knew exactly what was going on. Brian had left work to go get drugs. And this manager person is also a druggie, not in the same respect. I think he just smokes pot, behind the building at work. But of course, you can't, drinking is illegal. You can't be cracking open a beer at work either. I've even been a bartender, and that was even frowned upon to drink on the clock at a bar, come on. So the way Brian sees it is, well, you're a fucking druggie too. So they've gone at it, several times, but I guess this was the clincher. And he hangs up the phone on me, or, whatever. And I'm just I prayed about it. I was like, oh, please, he cannot lose this job. He cannot lose this job. And so, of course, God, because God always rescues him. God's probably an empath. God's an empath and Satan's a narcissist. See how it works? And religious side note here. People that are kind of borderline about spirituality, they kind of believe it, but not really. And then, of course, they always hit you with, well, if God is so powerful, then why doesn't he get rid of Satan? Well, maybe they have the same relationship. We're all souls. God's a soul, Satan's a soul, you're a soul, I'm a soul. Brian's not a soul. No, I'm just kidding. That's so mean. Yeah, and spiritually, I told you love is a thing. And, God is love. And I guess Satan is hate. I don't know. This whole little journey I'm on is getting me to kind of step out of, just regular, everyday, worldly, existence. And it's really getting me to really think more on a spiritual level. And see things a little bit kind of differently, Anyway, poor God, if Satan is a narcissist and they have that relationship. God saves his job, and it was because, can you imagine? I don't know where you work, but if I got caught even on drugs, much less going on the clock to go get some drugs, yeah, I'd be out of there in less than 3 minutes. Come on. And possibly a police report against me, come on now. He just always gets away with it. And that's another thing. Okay, another side note. If you're a person who never gets away with shit, like me, I swear, even if I think something bad, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do something bad. Man, I get punished for it, even before I've even done it. And I was always like, oh, that's so unfair. Mean people always get away with shit. You know what, though? Not getting away with things has given me the sense of responsibility to not do crazy ass shit, And, I don't like to hurt people just anyway. I just don't like that feeling. But even just doing bad things and hurting other people and getting one over on somebody and stuff like that, it's there are consequences. And these narcs, they don't ever have consequences. And they learn really early that they can charm their way out of anything, and then they don't get the consequence, and then it makes them get worse because they do one little thing that's bad, and then no consequence, and then they think to themselves, maybe I can do something a little bit worse. Then they do, no consequence, and then worse and worse and worse. And they continue and just become a total fucking maniac with no consequences. Then when they do get a consequence, then they think, oh, the world's stepping on my neck again. Like, dude, come on, man. So he he has this happen, and then he ghosts me. Now, most of the time when he ghosts me, I mean, it's like half and half. I mean, obviously, if we have any kind of altercation whatsoever, he ghosts me. And then, of course, I know I know my punishment is coming. But the other half of the time, he ghosts me, and I don't know why. Well, this time, I know why. But, of course, he doesn't say why. He just disappears. About a week later, we were hanging out. He was totally acting like normal, like everything, whatever, like nothing. And then we were actually drinking that night, both of us. And, I drank, whatever. And, I mean, I don't get lit, though, And, but instead of him, he wasn't sober, but he wasn't on anything, other than us just drinking. And so he says to me, oh, start my new job tomorrow. I'm like, what? And that's the other weird thing about him. He has no sense of what's important. Normal people who get a new job make a big deal about it. Like, they don't just go, hey, tomorrow, like in a couple of hours, I'm starting my new job. What? But I pretend that I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I do. Of course I do. I heard the whole conversation. So I act dumb. Oh, new job, what? Oh, yeah, well, I'm still, doing the pizza thing, but a new store, and then it's kind of like far away, and I'm like, and then it kind of hit me. I was like, damn, that sucks, and it's really far away, and I was like, okay. And then, of course, I don't want to be a bitch. I don't want to trigger him and be like, oh, that fucking sucks. I'm just like, oh, okay. Is that going to be, are you cool with that? And he's like, well, and then he tells me a story. And now I'm sure he left some of the story out, but he did. He pretty much told me the lowdown that here's how he says it. What is that guy's name? Doggone it. Oh, crap. Well, if I think about it, I'll tell you, but whatever this guy's name is that he's had problems with, he says, yeah, I don't know what his deal is, but I was coming back late from a delivery. I don't know what his fucking problem is, but he thinks I was out getting drugs, and he's all pissed off, and he called the district manager. District manager comes up there. And I thought he was going to say, oh, they made me get a drug test. But you know what? It's the weirdest thing. I mean, praise God that he doesn't have to drug test, because he couldn't keep that job. I mean, he would be homeless. Well, be little than me. Oh, he won't move in, but then he finally moves in because he has nowhere to go. Oh, kill him. And y'all would kill me if I let that happen. I thought that's what he was about to say. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, and of course I have to pretend that I don't already know the story. And the district manager came up there, and they like him so much. In fact, that district manager has been the one who's offered him management position a couple different times. And Brian, I think, did try to kind of do it for a little bit. I don't know, whatever. Who knows? He can't stick with anything except drugs and tormenting me. Yeah, he needs it. Can he get paid for that? Can he clock in and clock out and just torment me and do drugs all day and get paid for it? Um, he gets moved to this new store, and that's where he's been, like, for a good part of this past year. And back to my original reason for this video. I do always have a reason. I do come full circle with my information I'm trying to tell you. This video that I see on his YouTube page yesterday is an apology to his new manager, Andy. I've never even met Andy. I've never even heard of Andy. I don't know. And in the apology, he says, dude, I'll just get, and then of course he always admits to people that he's a drug addict. And it's like, dude, come on, keep that on the DL, man. I mean, don't be putting your business out there like that, but he's so smart in a conniving sort of way, but he's fucking dumb in like normal, well, maybe that's a narcissist thing too. I mean, he doesn't understand people. He doesn't understand society. He doesn't understand humanity. He doesn't understand any of that. So I guess maybe to him, he thinks, why wouldn't I tell everyone my business? Because they're supposed to forgive me. Who knows? In this video, he saying, oh, I'm a really bad drug addict. I'm trying to get help. He ain't trying to get no help. And whatever went down. Now, he didn't say in the video what happened, but he said, I'm really sorry I was such an asshole to you. You didn't deserve that. And, I just hope you can just hang in there with me, man. I'm trying, he does that. So once again, he's charming. And he's so good at charming everybody that, now he charms me in a female sort of way. He love bombs and all that. And then even his family members, he also love bombs them in a particular way. But the thing that I've noticed how he love bombs, and there's no other word to call it because that's what it is. Fake ass shit, I guess you could call it that. When he love bombs dudes, he does it in a, hey bro, man, I'm trying to be cool with you, man, I'm real sorry, I'm a fucking asshole, man, I know you should probably kick my ass, he does that. And I, 4 years ago, I would have never even seen it that way. But now I see it, and it's love bombing. It's the craziest shit. He does. Oh, he love bombs his dog too. This video is about to cut off, so I'll just tell you real quick. He's so sweet and loving and fatherly to this little dog. He's so cute. He's a little cute dog named Eddie. He's a cute puppy dog. And Eddie has this really high-pitched bark. And, of course, Brian has freaking Asperger's, so he doesn't like that. He will scream at Eddie. Now, I've never seen him hit him or throw anything at him or anything like that. But, who knows? Who knows what goes on behind closed doors when I'm not around. But the way, the anger, and the just violence in his screaming at this poor doggy, it's scary. And then, because he's a narcissist and he love bombs everybody, then he'll scream at Eddie, and then like 5 seconds later he'll be like, oh, come here, boy, oh, I'm so sorry, come here, you're my son, you're my puppy, all that kind of stuff, and just don't bark, and it's like a weird, icky kind of sweet thing. That's where sometimes I look at Eddie, and me and Eddie have like a moment where we're both like, this dude, shit. So anyway, okay, so yeah, he love bombs everybody. And if you have a narc, look for it. Just see if they do that kind of stuff. Like it's weird. It's hard to catch, but check it out. Okay. Get away from that narc. Bye.